Welcome to another episode of Writers' Rants from Camille's Harem. Not just a podcast by novice writers for novice writers, but also a YouTube channel by novice writers for novice writers. Because writing is an adventure, it's more fun with friends. Before I get on with the festivities, I have some announcements to make. This summer, on our channel, we are going to have an explosion of content. More videos, more insight, but specifically a mini-series of action and fight scene videos that you can expect to start up in June. If there's a fight that you want us to analyze and weigh in on, please leave your suggestion in the comment section. This is not going to be like Screw Attack's Death Battle, where we come up with a lot of supposed fanfiction, possible fights between people in different kinds of universes. No, what we're going to be looking at are fights that have already been established within a book, within a show, within a movie, a manga, anime, so forth. So give us one of your suggestions of a fight that you would like us to analyze, and we will do so, and we will put a little twist on it, not only showing why this is either a great or bad fight, but also what kind of advice we can glean from this fight to help improve your action writing. So that's something we're really looking forward to, and once again, if you give us your suggestions, it's a great way of communicating with us, and we'll be able to deliver exactly the kind of things that you want us to talk about. And you can already expect 2 special videos today as a part of this extra content wave. One will be a video looking into romance writing using the show Darling in the Franxx, and another will be writing tips that we can take from Netflix anime. As you can see, this is a lot of anime stuff, but I do have a reason for it, and you will get a greater explanation for that in the upcoming videos. But until we get to that, I want to just make sure that you guys are kept in the loop for all of these. They'll be uploaded at different times, so if you want to know exactly when they drop, please make sure that you not only subscribe, but that you hit the bell icon, so that way you can be notified for when all of these videos hit the internets, and you'll be able to be kept in the loop and enjoy them. So enough of that. I'm going to jump in today what I really came to talk about. Today, I am going to cut loose with a rant about sins the fans commit. And in 2 weeks' time, I'll follow it up with a rant about the sins that writers commit. It is time that I unleash some of the steam and venom coursing through my veins. Stuff that has been bothering me ever since I dove into the world of writing, starting with my first novel. So what do I mean about the sins that the fans and the writers commit? I mean that these are things that fans and writers do, and sadly do often, which sink fandoms into the depths of Tumblr and Reddit hell, that scare off potential fans, that derail entire stories, and cause unfulfilling pain throughout hordes of readers and authors. I am going to be honest and blunt with everything that I am going to say within these next 2 rants. So if you are still with me, and if you're ready for a rant, let's get started! Fans can get way too extreme. There's nothing wrong with epic costumes, crazy theories, establishing clubs, holding debates, and waiting in line for hours to get something, etc., etc., etc. But there is a line that is crossed way too often. This line is when you as a fan begin oppressing other fans as well as people outside of your fan base. It enrages me when I find out that fans have been belittling others, threatening them, and being a public nuisance in general, all in the name of their passions. This is what gives stories and fan bases their bad names. When a show about acceptance, like Steven Universe, churns out scores of people telling fan artists to go kill themselves, it is enough. When people in the Harry Potter fanbase ostracize their friends over differing views on Ronald Weasley, it is enough. When people dedicate their lives to ruining Star Wars for everyone else because they hated some of the movies, it is enough. And when Riot Control has to be brought in to stop Stormlight Archive fans from burning down Tor because their ship was sunk, it is enough. Get a grip, people. Okay, the last example hasn't happened, thankfully, but the other ones have. And you know what? It's sad and depressing and totally mind-boggling that these things have happened. Out-of-control fan passions have broken friendships. They've contaminated an entire generation of readers and viewers, and it has even ended some people's lives. So stop it! Another thing that rubs me wrong, like petting a cat backwards, is all the judgment. Fans tear into their own allies. If someone has not kept up to date about the newest book or the newest volume or whatever episode that they should have gotten the second that it came on out, they tear others a new one if they haven't been a fan for X amount of years. If they've only just jumped on the bandwagon, you're stupid. Stuff like that. Oh my gosh! But another destructive force fans have is their judgment against writers. Yes, criticism is needed for improvement, but when people condemn a book mere pages in, it's kind of disturbing. Finish the story first. It's especially a problem with people who follow manga, comics, and online books. Have some faith and patience. Don't hurl your venom at them, at these writers, just because you don't exactly get what you want when you want it. Are we really that entitled and privileged? If you think that you are, then get a reality check, take a chill pill, and stop it! And that leads me to another beef I have with so many fans. Your headcanons. Oh my gosh, we've already had a podcast episode on this issue in the past where we go much deeper into this matter, so I won't rehash it here, but I need to reiterate a point. It is fine to have your theories, your alternate universes, and your headcanons, and personal expectations for a story. I mean, I certainly do, but I don't let them get in the way of my own enjoyment, and neither should you. Don't rake authors through the muck just because they didn't deliver the story you wanted. They are writing their story, so respect that. Don't pressure anyone to set aside their passions and only write something because you demanded it so. Stop it! And yet another matter. Learn to suspend your disbelief, for crying out loud. We live in a time where we demand explanations, realism, connection, satisfaction, etc. So many fans throw temper tantrums that their stories aren't real enough, or on the other side of the spectrum, that they aren't fantastical enough. They throw out vague terms and make nasty gestures as a part of their arguments, all to get writers to do something just to cover up their own lack of imagination. It is being proven through polls and studies year after year that we are reading and imagining less as a society. We want everything handed to us and to make sense immediately, all to satisfy whatever bizarre and personal needs we have. How selfish! And how underdeveloped and short-sighted! I plead with you to rediscover childlike wonder, to explore the depths of your own imagination. Learn to once again get lost in a good book, a comic, a movie, a show, a story, whatever it is. Learn to suspend your disbelief and embrace the multitude of incredible worlds and tales that are all around you. Why do I bring this all up? Why do I put the sins of the fans out on an open display? Why do I press on with this when I myself cringe at realizing that I have been guilty of these things too from time to time? It's because we as fans have incredible power, and we need to be held responsible for that. Our time, money, and passion, which we pour into these stories, give authors their livelihoods. They depend on us, and most of them take that very seriously. Listen to just almost any author, and you will hear how much they genuinely care about both their stories and their fans. They give us so much. They give us so much of themselves, and they already take so much abuse. Why are we heaping it on in extra portions? Would you like thirds, sir? No, of course they wouldn't. It's so selfish of us, the way that we've been treating so many creative artists. We need to stop. As fans, we have so much potential for good in our hands, not just simply giving authors and artists the chance to tell us amazing stories or giving us amazing world stories and so forth. Not only do we give them their livelihoods, but there's so much more that we do for each other as a fan base. We can pull people into the stories that we love and help them connect with these stories that will enrich their lives. Many fans have even formed charities around their passions and have done untold amounts of good. I love hearing stuff, especially from video game societies where they're like, hey guys, we're going to be playing some really awesome games right here, and if you want to subscribe to our channel or whatever right now, or give us donations, all these donations will be going to helping out children in war or children with cancer. Stuff like that almost bring tears to my eyes, because it just shows how people can take their passions and turn it for something really, really good. Fans can do amazing things like that. Fans coming together have saved one another and even authors from the depths of depression and worse. Because of fans, we have great Comic-Cons, awesome book signings, Tumblr and Pinterest art, which is quite fantastic to look at. We even get some amazing theories coming from fans that not only help to explain stories a little bit further, but also help to connect these stories that we already love even more deeply into our lives, and thus enhancing our own connection with them, which is just awesome. I love reading the great things that people have to say about other stories and how it connects to us as the audience. This kind of stuff that fans do just galvanize others and help them become better, become more close-knit as a community. As I said, we just pull each other up. We do so much for one another. There's no need for anyone to push another person down a couple of rungs and bombast them with just terrible stuff. There's this terrible selfishness. There's this terrible desire to put others down, to make it seem like you're only the best one in the fandom. That's just so wrong. With so much good that has been done and will be done, we cannot allow that to be eclipsed by terrible fans who seek only to glut themselves with selfish, vague, and outrageous desires. I understand that there are times when fans might be rightfully angry about something, and there is a time for argument and criticism. But before you do any of that, take time to think about what your actions will do. As a fan, so many amazing series I've loved so much, and as someone who has formed so many wonderful relationships through these fan bases and experienced so many great things because of these fandoms, I beg that you bear these things in mind. Whew. That was a lot to get off my chest, and I know it's serious, and it needed to be said. And you authors out there, I have a rant coming for you next time. You're not free just yet. As a writer myself, I know that we are not blameless either, and that the things that we have done need to be addressed as well. But please, as one fan to many other fans, whoever is listening to this, please be considerate. Please put care into the words that you say, into the things that you do. Recognize that your actions, your words, even if you're just a faceless comment on the internet, you have a massive impact on others, and you need to respect that. If we can put more respect and more selflessness into our fan communities, we can do a lot of good, not just for authors, but for one another. So please bear that in mind. If this rant tickled your fancy, please consider liking and subscribing so that you can be kept in the loop for all of our future content. And remember, once again, if you really want to be notified about what we're all going to be throwing out here this summer, hit the bell icon so that way you will be notified whenever we put up new stuff, which will be a lot, and we want you to enjoy all of that and not miss out. And if you want more lighthearted stuff or some real advice on writing, we have plenty of other videos and some wonderful episodes on our podcast, Camille's Harem, which you can access through Podbean, iTunes, and Google Play. The links are in the description box below. And we'll have a new episode out for our podcast that you can listen to next week. And remember that 2 more videos are coming out today about romance writing and tips from Netflix anime. And speaking of things to enjoy, we have some great artwork on our Tumblr and some motivational challenges for your writing on our Pinterest. Check us out on Reddit for some stimulating writing discussions with us and also with other novice writers. This is a great opportunity to do some networking. And finally, please send us links to your favorite terrible fan fictions via our Twitter at Camille's Harem. So that's all for now, until the next video. So, tschüss!